This morning on Today's Health, children in the United States are diagnosed with a brain tumor every single day, and little is known about what might cause those tumors. But the story of one special Connecticut boy may help change that. We'll talk with his parents in just a brief moment. But first, Dr. Nancy Snyderman has Mikey's story.
This is the story of a little boy named Mikey. Of a little boy with a can-do spirit.
He was the epitome of optimism. Always. He'd fall down, he'd laugh and get up.
But then one day, everything changed, leaving Mikey Czech desperately in need of a miracle. The signs were subtle at first, but sudden.
He started looking at the TV kind of sideways.
He's uncharacteristically lethargic.
His left side of his face was just slightly drooped.
And I said, you know, something doesn't make sense here. I start connecting the dots.
But what started as a visit to the local pediatrician to connect the dots ended in the emergency room of Yale's Children's Hospital.
The head of pediatric neurosurgery walked in and he said to us, he said, folks, he goes, this is as bad as it gets.
Tests revealed Mikey had a brain tumor called a diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma, a rare and insidious type for which there is no treatment, no cure.
It was his birthday.
His birthday.
His 11th birthday. It was brutal.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
I mean, in 1 second, our whole life changed.
And because these tumors are located on the delicate brainstem, even a biopsy wasn't an option.
Any bleeding in this area can result in serious consequences, including death. So surgeons shy away from doing biopsies when it comes to the brainstem area.
8 months after his diagnosis, Mikey died, leaving his parents to cherish many memories, but none more poignant than this one.
He pointed up to the sky and he said, everybody's going to know me when I get up there.
Everybody in heaven is going to know who I am.
I probably haven't seen another child who was so beautiful, full of character. I can just remember every moment I have spent with him.
Mikey's parents started a foundation in his honor, and with his blessing, with the hope of finding a cure for the tumors that claim 1,000 children in the U.S. every year.
What we're trying to do is fund a world-class laboratory that gets the best neuroscientists collaborating with each other to be able to take all that primary research and translate that into remedies or cures for these tumors.
He was all for it. I know he would be so proud of us.
Jennifer and Steve Czech are here with us now, along with Dr. Snyderman. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Beautiful piece. I know that it's been a long year, but you have made a lot of progress to what you're doing in Mikey's honor of the foundation. What have you accomplished so far?
Well, in the past 10 months, we've raised approximately $500,000 for the purpose of establishing this translational research laboratory. And by way of background, what that means is there's an enormous amount of primary research that's been done about pediatric brain tumors, and unfortunately there's an enormous number of children who are being diagnosed, every day with this. And what we're trying to do is develop a laboratory that helps develop remedies and cures for these brain tumors using the primary research and the clinical observations.
Dr. Nancy, why is it so hard to get these diagnoses for
the brain's
early enough?
Well, the brain's a funny thing because you can have a benign tumor in a lousy place or a malignant tumor in a not so bad place, but there's no sort of margin of normal tissue you can take out in the brain. And Mikey's tumor, this is your brain and you turn it over, this is the spinal cord and this is what goes down, through your neck. But this area, the pontine angle, there's no margin of error. If you bleed there, your brain literally can herniate through your skull. It's impossible to biopsy, and the symptoms come on rapidly, and they grow quickly. So for a lot of parents, there's a lot of scrambling. You're trying to figure out what's wrong, who's going to do this, can you do something? At which point your son or daughter just continues to go downhill. It really goes to the core of how families stick together through tragedy. Right. It is a great testament to them that with their courage and their foresight, they've decided to take this and say, we're going to put our money and our name and Mikey and into research.
Well, it is pretty amazing, and to see that this is the kind of thing which could break a family apart is clearly made you closer and your daughter
Right,
too.
definitely.
Absolutely.
One thing that I know you've been described as a family with a lot of faith, and Mikey got to meet the Pope before he died. One thing I wanted to ask you was, has losing Mikey, did it change your faith or make you believe less, or did it make you believe more?
You know, I think we both have a different answer for that because, I mean, I think, you know, we're very devout Catholics, but, you know, I've been angry, you know, so I'm just trying to work through that, you know. I mean, I know Steve.
Well, in my case, the way I view this is there was a greater purpose, and God blessed me with tremendous intellect and a hard-working, you know, work ethic. And to me, he's basically saying, okay, use all those skills I gave you and go do something that's meaningful with it.
You know what a lot of parents will say, if you say, well, if you knew what this lifespan would be, would you have rather not had Mikey? And parents would say, no. I'll take every day I had, no matter how short, and now I get to use it as a transformative thing.
And as you said, you talk about him every single day.
We do. He's in our daily conversation. So,
well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. We appreciate everything you've done, and on behalf of all the parents and the families going through this, thank you for making this happen.
And best of luck with raising even more money to try to find a cure.